I have a database in Airtable that lists locations like addresses all across the US and Canada. But the problem is, how do you actually display those locations on a map and make it interactive? Especially if you're dealing with thousands and thousands of locations, it's not enough to just show them on a static map. You want users to be able to search, filter, and explore easily with something that looks clean and professional. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to build an interactive map from your Airtable data with dynamic filters for locations and a front end that's beautiful and easy to use. So let's dive in. Hey YouTube, I'm Paul Matsushima, the owner of Matsu Consulting, where I help teams streamline their operations by building them systems, processes, and automations. If you find this video helpful, check out my website in the link below. All right, let's get started. First, we start off in Airtable. Let's say you have a database of members. We have organization name, email, phone number, website, the various services they provide, their street address, if they have a secondary street address, their city, the state or province, because this includes both the United States and Canada, their postal code, the country, so whether it's the USA or Canada, the county or district, their full address, the latitude and longitude, and then membership date, and then the years that they've been active. Now, the big challenge is how to structure your search and filters on a map, because that's often the most important feature for when people are using a map. Because these locations are everywhere across both the US and Canada, you want users to search by various different types of fields, whether it's the city or the country or the state or even the county. And Airtable does not support trigonometry functions natively, so you can't calculate distances between locations within the base. For instance, if you wanted to say, get one location and show me the radius within 10 miles or 25 miles of a given point. Airtable does not allow you to do that natively. You could run external automations in Make or Zapier to calculate distances, but that would be kind of costly and it could take multiple seconds. If someone was to type in a filter and it took 10 seconds to load, that would make your end users feel like the base was a little bit sluggish. It's not always a viable solution. So your two alternatives for filters are either using a search bar where you type in keywords, or by using a drop-down pick list where you can pick selections. If I go over to the sample map that I created, you'll see that I have a keyword, so you could search by like Los Angeles, for instance, and then it would pop up one where it was based in Los Angeles. Or if you wanted to type in service type, you could, like education, and then all the ones, right, that are, say, yeah, services are education would pop up. Or if you had a drop-down list, like show me all the services that are arts and culture, or show me all the countries that are in the US, or show me all the countries that are in Canada, or show me all of the states in California, or all the counties in California, like Los Angeles. So again, those are your two options if you wanted to natively create filters within Airtable. It's either by keyword or by a drop-down list. So let me show you how I built that in Airtable. You basically have two options. Option one is you could use a single select or a multi-select list, for instance, services. Right, this is a multiple select list. This is helpful if you have a list that's not that long. I believe Airtable's unofficial length for these select fields is 10,000 options. But if you were to use like 10,000 zip codes, that's not always sustainable, because in the US alone, there are maybe 30 to 40,000 zip codes. And if you were to select by city in the US, again, there are like thousands of cities. So using a single select or a multi-select field isn't always sustainable. Open text fields also aren't as sustainable for these dropdowns, like for instance, city, because if you have an open select field, you can't have a pick list where you can select options. All you can do is type it in. So that's not always sustainable either. Now, the third option is you could have a linked record field. For states, we have a linked record field for all the various states in both the US and in Canada. So I decided to go with this option of using linked records as the drop-down filter list for both countries. So again, I only have the USA and Canada. For states, because the US only has 50 states and Canada only has about 13 territories or provinces. And the third option I went by is by county, because in the US, there's about 3,000 counties like Los Angeles County, Orange County, etc. And in Canada, there are municipalities or districts. And so you get over the record limitation within Airtable. If you're in the lowest paid tier of Airtable, you can only have 50,000 records per base. And if you go up one level, you can have 100,000 records per base. So again, if you did zip codes, there's like 30 to 40,000 zip codes in the US. So you would almost reach your limit by zip code alone. What I also did is I turned on dynamic filtering for the linked records. What dynamic filtering does is it restricts what you're able to select based on the link record. So for example, in states and provinces, if you turn on this little toggle right here and you say countries has any, and you make it dynamic country. So what this is saying as an example is if you select USA as the country, then the only states you're able to select are states located within the US. And similarly for county or district, if you turn in where the state has any state or province, what this is saying is that if you were to select, for instance, California as the state, then you would only be able to select counties or districts that reside within California. For instance, you can only pick Los Angeles County or Orange County because those are only in California and they're not in other states. And for more information about dynamic filtering, Gap Consulting's YouTube channel has a great video about dynamic filtering. I encourage you to check it out there. Okay, now that we've reviewed the Airtable backend, let's talk about how to set up a front-end map interface. So the first thing you'll need to do is go to the Google Workspace developers, and you'll need to sign up for a free 90-day Google Cloud trial. And the reason for that is you need to grab the Google Maps API key, what allows you to integrate your map with the Google Maps API. Once you do that, there are several front-end tools that integrate with Airtable. I've tested 3 or 4 of them. Each of these options has its own pros and cons, its own pricing, own features, so be sure to check out the links in my YouTube video description for more details on the pricing and what each tool can do. So the first custom interface tool I used is Airtable's native custom interfaces. And how you get there is you basically have to use Airtable's Omni tool, which is kind of like their vibe coding tool where you type in prompts and then it generates a custom interface for you. So the way you get there is on the left-hand sidebar, you open up Omni and then you type in prompts here. So I have here the map with pins in it. Let me actually launch that. So here's the custom interface. If you were to type in keywords like Los Angeles, for instance, you can open up the detail records page on the right-hand sidebar. And similarly, this is the same search bar tool where you enter in keywords. You can filter by the service type, like arts and culture or education. You could filter by country, so whether it's Canada or the US. You could filter by state, so California versus Kentucky versus Maryland, or you can search by county, whether it's Jefferson County or Orange County or Sacramento County. Airtable's interface is great. It looks beautiful. It looks like the Airtable branding, but the major limitation is that this can only be shared with other Airtable members. So if someone does not have an Airtable account, they cannot access this. So I'll show you, if you try to share this publicly on the web with non-Airtable users, this is the error message that you'll get. It'll just say this element is disabled. And I looked it up online, I Googled it. Currently, as of this recording in October 2025, these custom interfaces cannot be shared publicly. So that's often a big deal breaker for many people, especially if you have a map with thousands of people and you want all those people to access the data. They won't be able to if you use an Airtable custom interface. The next option I tried is Softr. Softr can do almost anything. You can add search bars, drop-down filters, single or multi-selects, even linked record filters. So this is the map, right? You can select by any type of service and it'll show them. You can select by the country, whether USA. You can select by state. Let's try like California again. You could search by county or district again, Jefferson County. Softr's great, has a lot of pros, very flexible with the search and filter options. The biggest con, in my opinion, though, is this layout. It has lots of white space. It doesn't use the real estate very effectively, which makes the map kind of small. The third option I tried is Airtable Mini Extensions. It has very similar capabilities as Softr's. The Pro is, in my opinion, it's a little bit more visually appealing than Softr. The map takes up more screen space. If you were to click into this, this is what the right-hand sidebar looks like. It looks a lot cleaner than Softr's. The biggest con, though, is that it can't filter by link records. It can only filter by single or multi-select fields, for instance, services. But if you tried to put on states or countries or counties, you can't add those as drop-down fields. And the filter, at least on the map view, can only filter by the primary field, in this case, which is organization name. It can't filter by any other type like location or city, etc. The last interface that I tried out is Zite, which is my personal pick. So Zite is a no-code vibe coding platform that allows you to build full interfaces and portals based on prompts, similar to the Airtable custom interface I showed you. So the pros is fully customizable, supports everything from filters to all the design tweaks you'll need. So if you click into a record, this is what the right-hand sidebar looks like. You can search by services or by country. You can search by state or province. You could search by county. And you could also search by keyword. If I was to type in like library, it'll show all the libraries around the country. So the pros, it's fully customizable, supports everything from the filters to all the design tweaks you'll need. The cons, though, it has the Zite branding down here unless you upgrade to a paid plan. And the other con is that you have a limited amount of prompts on the free tier. So that's how you can build a fully interactive Airtable map of locations. It can be beautifully displayed on tools like Softr, Airtable's Custom Interfaces, MiniExtensions, or Zite. You have a lot of options out there, but there are pros and cons to each. And again, the pricing and the features and functionalities is going to change and differ based on the platform you choose. So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. Drop a comment if you want me to walk through an actual build of one of these map interfaces with you. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.